What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer Guys, back in again for Escape from Tarkov action. And today going to do two things. I'm going to kind of combine a little bit of a news video, recent patch update, as far as what we got, what that means for the future of Tarkov, in addition with some additional news, some screenshots that we got, a couple of things that just came out and have been covered recently that I have not covered on the channel. In addition to that, I thought the back end of the video, we could talk about daily quests. We've had some time, daily tasks, operational tasks, whatever you want to call them. We could spend some time talking about that, how to best utilize those, depending on where you are in the wipe and what you're currently doing. The best ways to capitalize on those and continue to just get good progress out of them. So maybe we'll call it some tips and tricks with a little bit of news. We're going to jump into the news piece first. And like I said, after that, we will swap over and we'll just talk a little bit about operational tasks. All right, so first things first here, we'll jump in and we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what was the patch today, what did it do? And if you're not up to date maybe with Tarkov news, kind of what it means for the game moving forward. So we have 12.11.7 that released early this morning, late last night, depending on where you are in the world. Pretty big update, pretty big. I think, don't quote me, 7 gigs, I think maybe I read somewhere. And basically what it is it's a transition from Unity 2018 to Unity 2019. No new content. They said that very clearly. The patch we've migrated to this does not contain any new in-game content, graphics changes, optimization, anything else. But it is purely from a development standpoint, a transition to a new platform or an updated engine, game engine, which I think is really good for the game. Obviously, it's going to allow them to further optimize the game. DLSS, if you're not familiar, is a NVIDIA piece that's going to help with frames and frame rate, and that should be able to get hopefully turned on very quickly. That obviously is aligned to Unity 2019 and being able to do that. So big patch. I have seen a little bit of the community talking about it. It didn't take me too terribly long to get the thing unpacked, but I have seen some people, depending on your hardware and your computer, it is taking a little bit of time. So be patient if you're looking to play and you haven't updated. I would say go ahead, start the update now, get that thing rolling. Your launcher's going to have to update a couple of times, and give yourself a little bit of time. Hopefully it's quick for you, but it is a pretty big patch. Depending on your internet quality too, might take you a little bit to download it. But here's the cool thing. This is something that they have been working on for a long time. And this, I'm not a developer. I am not super tech savvy. This is something that I know is probably taking quite a bit of resources for them to be able to make the transition to. Right? There's a lot that goes into the background of updating the game engine, ensuring that everything that they're transitioning to still works. Features, graphics, content, all of it has to make sure that in this upgrade, it works. The nice part about Unity 2019 is it's been very well vetted. It's got a lot of support, and it should provide a lot of additional options for optimization moving forward. So a lot of the things that Battlestate game wants to do, that they want to include, hopefully will not only run a little bit smoother on Unity 2019, it will allow for just better optimization of the game, hopefully utilizing less resources on the computer. So if you have a little bit of a, I don't want to call a lower end computer, but maybe you have some older components, hopefully it won't be as intensive. This game is extremely intensive to resources on a computer. So that's a good thing overall. Plus, in addition to that, the transition, while there will certainly be some bugs, there's one right now. I don't even know if it's still in there. I haven't looked. If you go to your skills menu, it gives you, like, it says at the top of it that you have a point to spend. This was an old UI thing that they looked at doing in system. It's a remnant that just popped back up with this transition. I think they're going to be fixing it if they have not already at this point. The nice part, though, is that I can imagine there's a big bulk of the team that was working on this transition, and while they'll still have some things to iron out, hopefully that opens up some resources to get some other things done. Maybe they can transition some of the team off of this, or just continue to work that team now on actual optimizations for the game to make it better. So while it doesn't bring any content, and that's sad sometimes when you get a patch and it doesn't bring anything new, I am very happy that I think this is going to make the future of this game much better. And again, hopefully with the things that we see coming, soon, that we'll be in a better spot with this game as it continues to grow and continues to get better, and as we get new content. So that is what we got today. In addition, today they did share a screenshot, which is pretty cool. Nice little looks like an M4 here we got, and the big key marker here, little sneak peek, is a new Vortex Scope. So I believe this is a 1x6. The cool part is you see some 30mm rings here. You got your little red dot on top. This is all tanned out for those of you that like your guns to look cool. And another scope option. It'll be interesting to see what exactly this looks like. And I know some of the scope changes that they made recently haven't been the most well received, but hopefully this is a nice clear scope to be able to look through. I like an option for another opportunity for a 1x6 scope. There is so many people like the Voodoo. It's great optic, but I would love a competitor to that. Hopefully bring the overall prices of both of these things down. But it's cool. I like the tan. I like customization. I think that's pretty neat. And I think just giving the options for some of these things just to be in some different colors, I've always thought was pretty cool. Hopefully, I've talked about this in the past on stream, but hopefully in the future, somebody, I don't know, mechanic, giving us some options to just do some paints would be neat. Paying for that kind of service, but that is so far on the low end of things that I want in the game. Understand that if that doesn't come, this is a good alternate option, and getting some good options to mess around. Anytime we can get some new scopes and some new items to test around, play with, maybe find a new preference. Maybe you're not a big fan of the Voodoo. Hopefully this is an optic that works for you and gives you that capability. I think a 1x6 scope is really important. The flexibility for both close engagements and longer range engagements. So that's pretty cool. So a little sneak peek there. I didn't cover this previously, but this was November 8th, so a couple of days ago by the time this posts. We did get a couple of additional screenshots for some more customization options. So right here, I think this is a Glock, is what that looks like. We've got a new little kind of red dot type sight here. Will look like we got some new options as far as grips, which would be pretty cool. I think this is already in the game. So this kind of stuff is neat. Continue to provide customization for the guns, and just, again, options for modding your guns out, I think is really neat. Nice little HK45 suppressor here, it looks like, is probably the big thing. I think this is that 3x aim point. I don't think that's new. But I could be mistaken here. This is probably the big piece of it. But the HK, this ump is one of those that I don't feel like got a lot of love from a customization standpoint. So I'm happy to see that they're transitioning to that, giving us a little bit more options there. New aim point sight here. So that's another one, another red dot, elevated red dot. It looks like these are one component. I hope that's the case. Might not be, though. I could be wrong there. Another suppressor, it looks like. So maybe a couple of 45 suppressor options, which would be pretty cool. So I'm a big favor of that. And then again, we've got this new sight, which might be another one, actually. I don't know that that's the same. It looks to be the same. Yeah, actually, it's probably the same as the one on the pistol here. But another new sight. Looks like another option to throw that on. And then blast mitigation type device for and new pistol grip, I believe? Question mark? I think so. I haven't seen this before, so I think that's new. So a couple of new little sneak peeks from a weapon mod standpoint. I think that's pretty neat. And again, MK47, anything that you could add to this, I'm a big fan of. This gun absolutely slaps. So we'll see what changes these do, but pistol grips are never bad either. I think just continuing to provide some cool customization is some good hype to get prepped for. I expect a lot of this, or basically all of this, to be in 12.12. So 12.12 is just ramping up to have a ton of stuff. New guns, new mods, new map, new features, VoIP, and a whole bunch of other inertia. It's going to be absolutely crazy. So there's going to be a lot of content to jump into. There's going to be a lot of excitement around it. And hopefully, we had some podcasts recently, one with Nikita Pastilli, nice guy, and Axel, and they talked a lot about kind of what that is coming, and 1212 is just shaping up to be absolutely awesome. And I'm fingers crossed, we're at the beginning of November here, fingers crossed we get it by the end of the year. I think it's going to come with the wipe. That's the general consensus. I think with all that stuff, it makes sense. So we should have a lot of cool stuff to check out when 12.12 drops. So that's what we got for this one. Unity update and the news. Hopefully you're excited about it. Let me know. Hopefully your update didn't go too bad. I haven't played a ton today after the update, so hopefully it's a smooth experience. From what I've seen so far, it's been pretty smooth, but let me know if you're running into any troubles. And that kind of wraps up the news portion. So with that, we'll jump back over and let's talk operational tasks. All right, so we covered operational tasks a little bit, but here's what I think. I think operational tasks provide a ton of additional options, and it's going to be very interesting as we move forward with this game to see what that does for those that want to progress, maybe without focusing as much on quests. I've had this conversation with a few folks on stream and a few folks that have enjoyed playing this game, and one thing that I hear on one side of the fence is it's a little bit of a grind to be able to do those tasks, especially when this game wipes, right? It's bad enough in some people's perspective that you lose all your gear, but it's also a little rough when you then have to go and progress, unlock your traders, and open some things up. Daily and now weekly operational tasks are going to provide different options for being able to do that. The cool part is, and I think this aligns with Nikita's vision, is that if there's a task, say for Jaeger, that you really don't like doing, and it's not a gatekeeping task, and there are a few, I expect or hope maybe some of that changes in the near future. But if it's a gatekeeping task, if it's not a gatekeeping task and you don't want to do it, you now have daily and weekly tasks that you can go and complete in order to get that same progression. Tasks now reward, if you did not know, they reward rep for the trader that provides them, and it is random, so you will have to probably find some time and log in multiple times during the week to check your tasks. But being able to complete those gives that rep and allows you to upgrade that trader without having to do those current active quests that you have as part of kind of the quest storyline, I would call it. That's really cool. That is really cool. Very excited about that. I certainly think there's going to be some tweaking that is done, because some of the rewards, whether it be really experience being the key thing, I think is going to be something that they have to continue to monitor, especially at the beginning of a wipe. But it does provide some really cool options and just some options for people to play the game how they want to play it. I think that's really unique. That's really interesting. That's really fun. People hated Jaeger's tasks and all of the just the different stuff that you have to do with him. So having some different options where maybe you can go exit a location or find a few items or do something else instead of having to do those really painful grindy tasks are a great option for us. So hopefully you're excited about the feature. I know I am. I've certainly been enjoying it. I have gained multiple levels now since this has come out. Just finished my first weekly a couple of days ago. 182,000 experience, which is just absolutely insane. I will tell you, I was very much on the verge of not playing much more on my main account, just because I knew it was going to be very much a grind to get to 62. I didn't want to run labs a lot. I love labs, I like playing it, but I don't want to main labs. This has provided a fresh breath for me on being able to get that experience, grind some money, have some fun with just some different maps, go to some places that I don't really need to go anymore if I don't want to go there, and just kind of make a unique and interesting experience for my daily experience now when I log in. But again, it's also the rewards have been great. The XP has been the biggest thing for me. That's like, I can now feel very confident that I can get to level 62 without having to put an enormous amount of time and hours into specifically playing one map to try to be successful at killing raiders and getting headshots and just really farming experience. I can go and have fun, play my play style, and still make good progress towards being able to get to 62 and get to Kappa. Let's talk a little bit about how you can best utilize this system. This isn't going to be anything groundbreaking, but I would strongly consider a couple of these tips. If you're trying to figure out how to best maximize this, maybe maximize your playtime as well if you only have a limited amount of time to play. And again, you want to continue to progress, level your traders up, level your character up, open up the flea market if you're not there already, or just continue to level 40 and max your traders out. One quick UI thing to note up front here is when you have a new task, this is regardless of operational tasks, so your dailies, your weeklies, or any task that you unlock as you move through the quest progression, you're going to now see a green check mark, little circle and green check mark. That means that that trader has a new task available for you that you have not accepted, that you can go in and you can get. I won't be able to show this, but I can, or you can check some images. If you have a completed task, when you come to this UI menu and you come to your trader menu, in the corner right here or right beneath it, if they have a task to give you and you have a completed task, there will be a blue check mark. It's a little less visible, so you have to pay attention to it. But if you have a blue check mark, that means that you have a task that is complete, that you can turn in, or you have the requirements to turn in, that you can finish and then turn into that trader. So keep in mind as you're going through your play sessions, look out for these, look out for the green ones, look out for the blue ones as a good reminder that you can turn some things in. I'm going to jump in here and we're going to go, again, all of these that I have are operational tasks. And I just want to talk about these a little bit. So again, we've talked about how there's a variance, there's kind of a sliding scale based on level of what kind of rewards you're going to be able to get. From a low end to a high end, there's a gauge. Same thing with rubles. The rewards as well, I think, are a little bit random, but everything has kind of a sliding gauge. In addition, as you accept and progress and complete these daily tasks, operational tasks, you're going to get harder ones. If you fail them, the similar system works, where if you fail it or you don't complete it, it's considered failed, and there's kind of a background system that's running to determine and check these to determine where you sit. So I will tell you, I've been doing mine pretty consistently over the last, 2 weeks or so. And I will tell you that I have continued to see these tasks get just ever so slightly harder. More survives on the location, started with only 1 or 2. They've slowly gone up, 3, 4. You can see I have to do 5 customs extracts, which isn't super terrible. I had to do 6 on labs the other day. And was able to complete that one. But again, as you move up, they're going to get harder. But there is an end state to this where you are provided a very difficult task that you can complete for some very good rewards. But also, it's kind of gauges to your playstyle, and I like that about it. If you end up failing a bunch or don't complete a bunch of tasks, it will make the task easier. Now, you may get slightly less. Your rewards may be worse comparatively, but hopefully it aligns better to you as a player and what your capabilities are. That way you can always have something that's going to be along with your kind of current experience with the game and something that is achievable for you. So I like that system. So I'll accept. I've got customs there. Let's see what she has for us. I can actually turn this in. This is going to be one of my things. So you've got to find and transfer. So I've got to grab a couple of items. And then I think for this is eliminations on factory for scavs. And not a ton of experience here. What did therapists give us? 25,000. So this is kind of on the low end for what I've typically seen for operational task experience. But here's really probably the first and the biggest kind of tip I'm going to give as it relates to these. I am a big fan of take a look at the task, determine if you feel like you can complete it or not. The time is based off of when you've accepted it. That's important to note. Or actually when you've logged into the game when you have one and then you accept it. But the biggest thing here is for me is going to be is see what tasks align and what you can do multiple things at once. Now, I have find and transfer is always usually any location. Obviously, certain items are going to be kind of segmented to certain locations, so you have to be kind of cognizant of that. But most of the things you can find on the majority of maps. I'd have a hard time finding some of these things on factory, but there are some options. In addition, I can go to customs here, and I can look for shampoos, anti-roach spray. So this is a nice thing. Combo these things up. If you are still completing your regular active tasks for any of the traders as you're moving through the progression, see what else lines up inside of that. This is kind of one of my tips from my leveling guide and some of the other things that we've done in the past, but anything that you can combine together and do multiple things at once is always going to be better for you. One, it's going to save you time. Less time in raid, less time loading into raids, less time running to the same location. In addition to that, things like killing scavs, right? Exit, obviously you have to survive the raid. These, you have to find these in raid, so you have to survive those raids. But if you can do both of these things at the same time, one raid here can give you multiple stages of progression. Things like eliminations are nice because they count regardless of if you die or not. So let's say you needed to go to factory and complete a task. Maybe you need to fix one of the flashing boards, right? Maybe you're pretty early. You could go in there, kill some scavs, bring your tool set in, do the same thing. Maybe you kill one or two scavs, you get one of your tool sets down, and you get that repaired, and then you end up dying. The best part about being able to align those and do those things is that regardless, or even the fact that you died, while that sucks and you lose your gear, you're still getting quest progression, both active quests and operational tasks. So my big thing here is take a look at every one that you have. If you can, log in every day and just see what aligns with what you're currently trying to do. Maybe you don't need the experience, or maybe the rewards are not great, but you main customs. That's a great thing. You might as well accept this task and run your customs, have fun with your buddies, do whatever you're going to do, go to make some money, and keep this task active and open at the same time, because you'll probably stumble upon being successful with that. So that's my big thing. I obviously don't have a weekly yet because I just completed it, but it's the same thing for that as well. If you can mirror that up with anything else that you're actively trying to do in the game, pair up your tasks, do multiple things at once. For that successful raid, when you're able to find a couple of shampoos and kill a couple of scavs and maybe get an extraction from somewhere that you needed, you're not only now knocking out one task, you're knocking out multiple at once, getting that progression and really boosting your progression forward. So very simple thing to think about, but take that 30 seconds and just do that analysis, and I think you'll find yourself having a lot more success, and you'll be enjoying the fact that, again, even if the raid isn't successful from a survive standpoint, you can be successful by getting a lot of quest progression done at the same time. The other thing, and probably the other big tip I would give as it relates to these daily and even these weekly tasks, is start just hoarding things. That sounds so simple. If you're really stuck on stash space and maybe you are still progressing through that, that's a difficult thing. Save yourself up $1 million and get yourself a couple of lucky scav junk boxes. If you have the flea market open, last time I checked, these are only about 820K. If you're new, that's a lot of money, but you can find a way. If you are really struggling, get yourself some rigs. 30 to 40K. You can stack black rocks full of items and really extend your storage space. I have a video on that if you want to check that out. And alternate to case options. Obviously, things like meds are also really good, as well as a holding neck, because you can throw some food items in here. But you can see right now I have 3 of these things, and I have an absolute crazy amount of items stashed away. Some of these things are I'm saving up for a few last hideout upgrades that I want to get done, really just solar power. But you can see that I have a whole bunch of stuff in here just tucked away in preparation for that. I open that task up, I open my daily or weekly operational task, and I can just turn these things in. Perfect example, this paid right here, sitting in, grabbed it in a raid, normally would sell this, throw it away, maybe not even pick it up. But I have it ready to turn in. Now I'm going to be able to go turn that in. Beautiful part, I don't have any shampoo. I can jump into the hideout and actually craft us some shampoo in the lavatory. We find it here. And I will be able to complete this task by simply buying this bottle of water and running what is a 30-minute and 16-second craft. And that's going to be operational task complete for me. This gives me 2. Beautiful part here. Let's jump out of this. I believe it was for therapist. Find and transfer. I'm going to be able to grab both of these. And easy, without having literally done basically any work. The work was already done beforehand because I was hoarding the item. I'm going to get 25,000 experience, 772,000 rubles, which is great, and some rep and a couple of additional items. The hemostats I will put to use, and actually saves me a bit of money for buying them. So that is my other really big task, is hoard some things. Hoard just your whatever you can find the space for. If obviously you need it for hideout upgrades, certainly use it to do that. Or if you need it for a different quest, certainly turn it in for that. But I think it's providing a different dynamic, and if you have the means, save the items, grab yourself a bunch of stuff, just put a smattering of everything in there. And the nice part is, let's say I needed 2 aids. The beautiful part is now I can go into a raid and it's a lot less stress to be able to find it. One additional comment I will make on that though is, I would really strongly recommend you don't turn any of the items in until you have all of the items to turn in for that task. So for this, again, I am going to wait until I have both shampoos crafted to be able to turn all 3 items in at the same time. What would suck is, and what you will essentially lose out on, is if you turn in some of these items but don't complete this before the timer is up, or maybe your play session is up, you essentially do lose that item and you get no quest completion progress towards getting that actually done and turning in part of it. So subset tip to that task is make sure that you have it all before you turn it in. So couple of things, let me know. I certainly am excited to hear. And we've had some time now with operational tasks, weekly tasks, and now the rep gain. Let me know how your Escape from Tarkov experience has been going. Hopefully those couple of tips were helpful for you, and probably some things you've thought about, but maybe you haven't. And especially if you're newer or maybe getting back into it, a great way to move forward and get some progression. Let me know if you're excited about all of the updates and the things to come. 12.12 again, I think is going to be absolutely huge. Ton of new things. I think it's going to be a lot of content. I think it's not necessarily going to revitalize the game, because I know there's a lot of core players and people still playing, enjoying their experience, but I think it will be a really nice breath of fresh air for a lot of things that people are asking for. Optimization, new content, new features. Just, I think it's going to bring in and give us a better experience of what Tarkov is going to look like moving forward. So I'm very excited about it. So this has probably been a lot longer than I intended, but hopefully a good video for you. Thank you for stopping in. If you enjoyed the news part of it or the tips part, leave a comment down below. Quick plug, like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support on the channel. Continue to do really well and just grow, and hopefully provide good information to everybody out there watching. So thank you so much for all of the support. We do stream over on Twitch Fridays and Saturdays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, randomly throughout the week as well. We got links in the description for our Twitch, our Discord, and our Twitter. If you want to follow us, join any of our socials, we would really appreciate that. We'd love to chat with you on a stream sometime. That's a great way to interact, run some raids, just have some fun, talk Tarkov, tips, questions that you have, or other games, play New World, Apex, a whole bunch of other stuff. And we're going to be playing a lot more as the year gets to close. Been playing some Call of Duty Vanguard as well. So swing in, say hi. We'd love to have you. And hopefully we can chat and meet you over there as well. Like I said, those links in the description. I'll wrap this one up. Doc, Average Gamer guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the news and the tips. And we'll see you in the next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.